This Fleet Equipment Unscripted interview is presented by Hendrickson, a leading manufacturer of heavy-duty suspension systems and components to the global commercial transportation industry. Visit hendrickson-intl.com to learn more.
Hi everyone, I'm Jason Morgan, Content Director for Fleet Equipment, and welcome to Fleet Equipment Unscripted. Today we're talking with Mike Harris, Senior Vice President, Sales and Operations at FleetPride. Mike, it is great to connect with you.
Great to connect with you too. Thanks for having us on today.
Yeah, for sure. So FleetPride has been a name that is hit in my inbox. It seems like daily. The announcements of acquisitions have been fast and furious here over the past, I feel like a year and a half, almost into 2 years. You're now at more than 300 locations nationwide. What's driving this acquisition strategy and this growth?
Well, first, again, thanks for having us on today. One of the things about acquisitions for us, it's an important part of our growth strategy. We focus on organic growth, but acquisitions as well, equally. Part of the reason we focus so much on acquisitions is we like to be closer to the customer. There's a couple elements to this, that being one of them. Being closer to the customer, certainly in the major markets, helps us keep customers' trucks up and running. So when we think about customer uptime, that's an important aspect of it. So that drives a tremendous amount of focus and acquisitions. I would say the other key component that we think about is developing a one-stop shop for our customers. Specifically, what I mean by that is you would notice in the last year or two, we've really ramped up on the number of service capabilities we've been acquiring and bringing new members into the FleetPride family with service experience. That really goes hand in hand with having a robust, very broad historical footprint of parts capabilities, but now complementing that with service for a one-stop shop. Again, taking solutions to the customer where it's easier to do business. Again, thinking about their vehicle uptime and what we can do to impact that.
Right, for sure. And that battle for uptime is constant, especially now, as trucks are getting a little longer in the tooth, new truck supply is working through, part supplies. I'm sure you understand the challenge there, and really service location availability. It's a lot to kind of bite into. What are some of those big opportunities you see, and what are some of the headwinds that you're addressing there? Maybe it's specifically in service or specifically in parts. How are you addressing those?
We think about what the customers are dealing with today, and it impacts all of our businesses to some degree with the supply chain shortage that we've been talking about for many, many months, but how that impacts the customer, right? Whether it be being able to replace equipment with new assets, trucks, trailers, you name it, but also the ability to have the right parts to keep their existing fleet up and running. So as we think about our solutions we're bringing to customers, the acquisition expanded footprint certainly plays into that. But then even broader, we think about some of the solutions we can bring to the customer is in stock and inventory on hand availability, super important. We also love to be in a position to help our customers based on their feedback over many years. They like options. Many fleets have newer trucks, older trucks. They may not always need the same exact part, and so they like options. So not only is it super important that we have the right inventory on the shelf, but having it at the right place in the right time is hugely important to helping the customer. That is part of our solutions we brought to the table, whether it be expanding the footprint, super focused on having the right inventory, or then determining what other tools we can develop, which kind of leads us into all the digital investments we've been making along the way as well.
Yeah, let's jump into that, because I think something you highlighted here is just how connected the solutions are behind the scene to make sure you have that part at the right part, right place, right time, and it gets incredibly complicated. Before we dive into there, though, let's just maybe start on the e-commerce side, because I know FleetPride has invested a lot in the e-commerce in the past year. How has the recent platform launch gone, and what are you doing to iterate on it as it grows over time?
Well, it's actually been a huge success. We really focused heavily on FleetPride.com being a single stop destination for our customers and our own people just as well. Our own team members play such a huge part of all of the input that goes into making it a great tool for our customers as well. So the success, and thanks to all the FleetPride team members. We've just got such a tremendous team and talented group of folks making that happen every day. And then all the tools and capabilities that we're putting into the tool to help us become easier to do business with the customers. That comes in a number of ways of solutions, how we integrate with their business system. Some need simple upfront ordering capabilities, and so we provide that. But then there's a host of other solutions that need to come behind the front end to interact with the customer, whether it be EDI, punch out capability, you name it, but how to help their local shops procure parts, but give management at the same time visibility if we're talking about a large regional or national fleet, but then also having solutions for the smaller fleet, local fleet, or independent operator as well.
Right. Well, or even, one of the things that we often talk about, especially in e-commerce, is just the standardization of some of those part specifications and all that, and how much of a challenge it is, and trying to make sure, right part, right? That's the first part of that saying. So just making sure you have everything cataloged there, and you're handling that all on the FleetPride.com e-commerce site. That is all standardized, and you're working to get that all on the same virtual page there.
It certainly is, and I would even look at it as a marathon, not just a sprint. Yeah. Although we've been on a sprint, very determined to bring our platform to where it is today, to lead, be the first click in heavy duty, and we take a lot of pride in that. That not just to say that, but actually to have the content of material that a fleet or any of our customers can log in and experience that, and really let it be their first stop in heavy duty, or first click in heavy duty, to find the information that they need. A ton of effort has gone into, to your point, the lack of data structure in heavy duty compared to some other industries, certainly whether it's automotive or some other adjacent industries. Heavy duty traditionally has not had a very good data platform. It's still a challenge for us as an industry today. And so what we've done at FleetPride is we've invested in the talent and the tools and the capability to really chart our own path there. We have a lot of great supplier partners helping us along the way. There's a number of ways and processes that the rest of the industry is working on, and we support those efforts. But at the end of the day, we knew we needed to take matters into our own hands, so to speak, and create a platform with the images and the content to help the user at the end of the day find the right part, feel comfortable about that. But then you have to layer in some capabilities to help the user with live chat agents, and these are seasoned, heavy duty experts at a click away on our chat feature, and many of them come right off of our parts counter with years of knowledge, and they're an important part of the equation as well to help the user make sure, if they have any questions, help the user make sure they're comfortable with what they're looking at.
Right. No, oh, that's super interesting too, because I know, the chat function on sites being what they are today, sometimes it can be overlooked, or you're not quite sure who you're talking to. So very cool to see that investment. One quick clarification, at least for me. So if I'm a fleet, I can go to FleetPride.com and order the part direct. Do I have to then contact a FleetPride location to get the part through? How does that ordering process work on the fleet side?
That's a great question. We have worked really hard to simplify this. Anybody can go to FleetPride.com today and register for an account.
Okay.
And they can register for immediate savings. And also it gives you the instant availability of cross-referencing, a tremendous amount of search capabilities, managing your fleet assets to be able to upload and save your VIN numbers and tag parts to save time in the future. Endless amounts of capabilities that we continue to add on a day-to-day basis. And no, you don't have to call a branch if you don't want to. You can log in and place the order. You'll have the options whether you want to go pick it up at your local FleetPride, whether you want to ship it for a number of options. And it gives you your price, whether you're an established customer with your account, can give you your specific account pricing. Any customer can log on and do business on FleetPride.com. And I'll say this, what makes it so powerful, and what makes us have a ton of confidence in our tool, is behind the scenes as well. You still have this footprint in 300 plus locations, thousands of dedicated, very knowledgeable, heavy duty experts in the stores to back up the customers should they have any questions.
Right. Well, and I think I think that's a huge differentiator in the trucking service world, because I know it might seem strange that we talk about it because we all use our own e-commerce platforms in our personal life, and that's what you do. You create an account, you order your product, it shows up, or you can go pick it up wherever if there's a storefront there. But in a lot of the aftermarket, there is the added layer. Maybe I can't order personally as a fleet. I have to work through my supplier, and everybody wants their cut. We understand that. We know how it all works, but like you said, doing the heavy lifting to make it seamless and kind of analogous to what I do in my consumer life. That's a huge leap forward, I feel like.
It really is. You nailed it. We all buy online, and personally, many of us do. It's to take a similar experience in heavy duty that really just hasn't existed to any great extent. And
Right.
so we see this as a big opportunity to help our customers create the differentiation for FleetPride and to make it as seamless as possible for the customer. Really giving the customer all the tools they need at their fingertips, click away at fleetpride.com to get all the answers they need. The beauty of it is our internal teams use the same tools. They're constantly giving us feedback from across the country throughout our business, as well as the feedback from the customer. So, week to week, there are a plethora of new features being launched nonstop. Today, we have over 660,000 new parts online today, and that's growing every day. The cross-reference database is amazing. The amount of cross-referencing we now have on fleetpride.com is tremendous. We have customers, whether it be national accounts or local municipalities, the anecdotes are really pouring in across the country saying, hey, I start my search there every day. And sometimes that may be, regardless of where they're going to buy it, if they go to FleetPride because it's easy, it's informative, we continue to add images, more and more images are in the works. So it's that type of one-stop shop destination we're trying to create with fleetpride.com as well.
Right. No, and I mean, to your point of the internal locations using it as well. I mean, we definitely want to use technology to make things easier, but relationships still go a long way. So if I have a good relationship with a FleetPride location and we can all see the same stuff, and maybe they have different avenues or different pool or to help me get the part where I need it and when I need it, it's fantastic that we can still keep that relationship. Doesn't have to mean that we lose that connection. So very cool, because that's always important in our industry.
Yeah, not a doubt. It's still a scenario where people buy from people they know, like, and trust.
Right.
And relationships certainly matter. We feel like we're in a great spot to provide this new digital tool on the front end of what has been a long-term relationship that has been built with these customers, our customers all over the country. They go back, decades.
Right.
And to be able to complement the relationship and the knowledge of our people with a tool really puts us in a spot to have the best of both worlds.
Right.
And both are hugely important to our future. And so we continue to invest in both of those. But having both together really, I think, is what makes it special. And at the end of the day, having the capability as a customer, large fleet, independent operator, you name it, to be able to go online and check real-time inventory at any of the locations, and with the 5 regional distribution centers backing that up with inventory, just creates a tremendous amount of availability for parts locally and nationally for a customer to pick and choose what they want.
Right. Well, and it's a battle that a lot of suppliers and providers and even OEMs in the industry are fighting right now, and everybody has a different, to be able to see the difference and see how I can interact with the platform and what I can or can't do, or what I can or can't see, or even to your earlier part, the standardization. It's all going to become more and more important as the e-commerce train or truck, I guess, at this point keeps barreling down the road, because we're definitely moving down this, because to your point, to be able to connect all the locations, all the parts, and then understand the needs of the trucks, the digital highway helps connect that.
No, it certainly does. And so when you think about the things we've talked about today, with the footprint growing, we're getting closer to customers in local markets where it matters, leveraging those relationships, the knowledge, coupling the service capabilities as well as that's expanding. We're over 70 service locations today. We expect that number to really grow in the months and years ahead. And so we, when you couple those things together and this foundation of this 20 plus years of FleetPride that we've been around, of combining all the knowledge and expertise of our folks, and then you come in with a digital solution, we just like having lots of levers for growth. And that's just extremely important for us, that we have those various levers, whether it be our folks in the field at regional accounts, national accounts. We have dedicated teams there, but at the end of the day, we need multiple avenues for growth. And these are things that really the heavy duty industry, we believe, have been starving for many years. And it's exciting to be a part of FleetPride right now. And as the rest of the team would tell you, I'm super proud and honored to be surrounded by a bunch of very talented individuals across the FleetPride organization, bringing all this stuff to life in what has been traditionally a legacy industry that's I think, starving for some of this technology. But at the same time, you still have a tremendous amount of wealth of knowledge across the business that's fun to work with every day.
Yeah, very cool. Mike, I appreciate you leveraging this technology to connect with me. I learned a ton, and I'm sure it sounds like there'll be a lot to talk about here going forward. So I'm sure I will talk to you again very soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us again. Thank you.